everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Concord Nilmananji. My name is Molly, and I will be your dungeon master for this episode. When last we saw our heroes, they had sprung an ambush on the Void Emissary, Srivnar the Fell, and Mbaptra, or as our company knows them, Irbalar. Bolts flew, Malthers gibbered, waves of zombies made of cadmium red ash burst into life around them and poofed into clouds of orange smoke as they faded. Voices rang out from the beyond as the magic binding them dissipated, explaining that the amulet around Srivnar's neck was the key to one of Nilmananji's binds. A massive eye squelched on the wall, speaking with a disembodied voice that was then identified as Void Emissary Tekukaru. Hanging on by a thread, our heroes found themselves 120 platinum richer, in possession of two very important books, one of the Void Necromancy's magic, and another a ledger detailing the giant's bribes and thievery here on Utano. Tying up Mbaptra, Odyssey and Karis opt to stay back in the mine to recover while the other two go for help. Through the green haze of mithril extraction pouring out of the exhaust ports, a giant ship hides within a small bubble of Nilmananji's stolen illusion magic. Still learning how to control the ancient dragon's magic, the giants struggle to reduce the size of this illusory bubble, and the ship remains within eye shot of the emergency exit midway up the back of the mountain, which the heroes spied the ship from. Kendall reconnected with his current flame, Fallred. After informing him of the giant's treachery, the man calls for a medic and has Kendall patched up. They shift through the city streets to the ornate temple of Jahan. This temple has a massive entryway made like that of the mouth of a forge. Worshippers are greeted with an unbearable heat upon entry that becomes nearly enough to injure you before it gives way to a beautiful temple. Vines of mithril and gold form an Art Deco temple with large block shapes and ornate bits of metalwork throughout the space. A massive gold, obsidian, and mithril battle axe sits in the center of the room. Stonework benches circumscribe the monument as the high priest Mariel makes haste and sends for riders to investigate the claims that these newcomers, Kendall and Aelin, are making. A short Eladrin, clad in leather and mithril armor, flits in and out of wild shape before taking the shape of a vulture and taking to the skies. Aelin makes her way through the smithy district, through towering gates of wrought mithril. Weaving through the mostly empty work and administrative spaces, she is able to find the office of Sontar Adhorn. After quickly explaining the situation, Sontar departs quickly to speak with Mariel in the Temple of Jahan. And this is where we find our heroes. Tell me, Odyssey and Karis, what are you up to? You have this passed out Irbalar, hands tied behind his back, thoroughly immobilized. You know it takes him a minute to recover. What are you doing with your...
It's time for bed.
It's time for bed?
Yes.
Yeah, the big yawn.
Bedtime. Big yawn. Over it. Got it.
So sleepy time tea.
Trance.
Odd whips out a couple of satchels in his little portable
know how
teapot.
long it takes to get to the city and back, so we know that we will probably be finished trancing by the time they get back by quite a while. So.
Wicked. All right, cool. So you will take your time. Irbalar will it will pass pretty much undisturbed. You will not hear any steps or anyone coming. But by the time that you're emerging from your trance, and Irbalar will come back too, it'll be about early afternoon, because you arrive to the mines in the early morning.
Is it still really stinky in here?
Really stinky, as in the sulfur? No. So it seems like that a lot of the smoke that was coming from that fire that was really stinky was really tied to whatever Srivnar's ritual was.
Cool. And the orange smoke is gone?
The orange smoke will dissipated when the gibbering Walther form kind of dissipated into the worst pool of red jello, of melted red jello afterwards, and so there's just a big puddle with hundreds of teeth there.
Cool.
Very nice.
And so that doesn't smell great, but
Very
the
eldritch.
overwhelming sulfuric smell is not there anymore.
Cool.
So Herbalar's waking up
Guess we
before
talked to
everyone else
Herbalar.
gets back.
Herbalar would be waking up. Yep.
I'm gonna ask Karis. Karis, you have the hands, don't you?
The what?
The invisible hands that were on the ship.
Yes, I do have the
That were
hands.
once
Yes.
Herbalar's. I'm gonna ask to borrow the hands.
Okay, here you go.
I'm gonna summon the hands.
Okay.
I'm gonna politely ask the hands. I'm gonna explain to the hands because I feel like we're buds. I'm gonna explain to the hands the situation and politely ask the hands to, remove a conjured glove and slap Herbalar across the face with it.
And so you'll see. And so these hands like spring into life, and you have that brief conversation with Jenkins, and Jenkins will start tugging on his own fingers, and the glove will become looser and looser and looser. Pull it off, and then the other hand fades out, and so it sort of has to like flip the glove. Maybe you help it, and it will snap Herbalar back to life.
How dare you, sir?
Yeah.
We trusted you.
Kill me.
Because we're not monsters.
Well, I mean, we did kill the giant.
He was asking for it.
Okay. And he wasn't?
We have questions for you,
I
Herbalar.
literally peppered Elin with like 10 bolts.
Well,
actually, the questions thing is a good one. That's probably the biggest reason. Also, you didn't turn into a monster when you were defeated, so that makes it easier to not kill you.
yeah, that's true. We didn't have a lot of choice with that guy. We had a choice with you, Herbalar. And we remember the times we had on the ship. We remember all the cold baked beans and the stale biscuits.
What of it?
Friends, man. How long have you been planning this?
You're gonna betray. You betrayed the baked beans.
You betrayed the baked beans, man.
I thought we were brothers. We were the Brotherhood of the Baked Beans.
On doesn't do well with betrayal.
And so he's just gonna look at you and be like, "What?
Why though? They're upsetting the balance, Herbalar. You saw what they did to that dragon.
I did.
This is not right."
Do you like to be hurt, or have the people you
took a
love
turn.
hurt?
Sorry.
Do you want to be on the losing side?
No.
You've seen what they're going to do, I'm sure.
We have to be on the side of justice, man. If we don't fight for what is right, who will?
I mean, look, here's the thing. We didn't really get a choice. I mean, we were the ones who they attempted to kill over and over. So I don't think we ever had a chance to be on. If you think the giants are going to win in some sort of conflict, being on that side wasn't really something that we had the option to do.
I mean,
So do you want to join?
no.
I don't think so. Not after everything they did. I mean, the dragons seem pretty nice. I feel like being on sides that do genocide is not great. That's my opinion. So, I think being against genocide is not a hot take. Probably.
Yeah, I'd agree with that generally.
Yeah.
So he'll make a dark argument, and he will say, like, the pathway, these creatures, these dragons, they never helped with anything. When the hordes were running across Vermeret, They weren't there. They did nothing. They hid.
They're a
Giants
cosmic
will bring
entity,
peace.
man. When there's war happening, the wind doesn't interfere on either side. They're here to keep the balance.
Yes, but now we can bend the wind.
I'm not saying that I have strong feelings about the dragon necessarily. They seem nice, but like whole societies of dragonkin genocided. So
He'll look at Odd, and he'll say, "Sometimes you need to break a couple eggs."
Odd gets very upset at this statement and just turns around and goes, Jenkins! And has Jenkins slap him across the face again.
And so like Jenkins is like losing grip on this glove, and will like sort of have to like, and will like, but it's not. So he's just sort of like, okay.
Odd's gonna take a deep breath and be like, Karis, I don't think we're gonna sway this guy. Seems like a lost cause, even if we were Beans buddies.
yeah, his logic is self-consistent at the very least, from what I can tell. It makes sense.
Most we can hope at this point.
Thank you. I'm glad, as a writer, I'm glad it's self-consistent.
So far.
Don't worry, you're gonna come. You're gonna be able to find a hole if you push too hard.
I think the best we could do at this point is work to understand his plan, understand what the giants you're hoping to achieve, besides domination, if anything.
I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff I'm curious about.
Go for it.
So, so the night of the storm, we've inferred that you had planned a shipwreck with the giants. How did the ship get destroyed, and how did you survive? I'm just curious. I mean, clearly it doesn't really matter to how we move forward, but still.
The name they gave me was the rebaptized, born again. And once I came into contact with the magic, What?
I'm laughing because you're laughing.
Oh, okay.
They're born agains. Also funny.
And so like when I first came in contact with the magic, you're gonna have to restate the question. Sorry.
Yes. So how did the ship get destroyed specifically, and how did you survive?
How did I survive? I was never going to be hurt. That was organized for.
I know. That's what I'm asking. How did you establish this logistically? Like, did you, were the giants in the water? Did they have a boat that you could jump over to? Did they just run after you? Because, you can die in a shipwreck even if you swim away because there's a whirlpool. So,
what do you think destroyed the ship that night?
Yeah, well, it could have been like a wizard or like just a giant just throwing something heavy at it or just kicking it. I don't know.
So maybe there's your answer.
You're just not going to tell me? Do you even know?
Why should I tell you?
So they were like, they just told you, all right, so this is the night. We're going to destroy your ship and you're going to survive. And then you were like, great, how are we going to achieve that? And they were just like, see you then. And you just didn't care.
Did you not see the dragon?
The dragon destroying
that blew
our
the ship apart?
No, I didn't. Was it the same dragon?
There was a sapphire dragon. That was being protected by invisibility. That descended and ripped the ship apart.
So and yeah. Sorry. This could be in character. So what you're saying is you're surprised I didn't see the invisible dragon?
It's not funny, Karis.
How was I meant to see it if it was invisible?
It was probably an enslaved sapphire dragon.
Is that it?
I don't know about you, Durathil. I don't know what abilities you have.
Okay, sure, but the way you phrased it was just odd.
We already know that the sapphire dragons have fallen.
So you're saying that
Tale of the imprisoned.
a dragon the size of the green dragon from the Isle became invisible and then came over and kicked the ship really hard, something like that.
And so you're with kind of hearing about his story and thinking about like the islands that you saw before you got to the shipwreck. You saw like a bunch that were flattened, like this big explosion of forest damage had just like flattened whole areas.
Oh,
And then you're thinking about the events of the shipwreck, and it seems you would kind of be putting things together that like, all right, the night of the shipwreck, there was a big boom, and then the ship got ripped apart by a sort of invisible force. And so you could put this together that maybe that is a power that the dragon might have.
Maybe Odd should put that together.
Maybe Odd would put that together.
And not Karis and tell me.
Well, I mean, you would kind of remember this, that there were like flattened islands.
I know.
We
I
can
just
walk
think it's
through it
more
together.
fun with
Yeah.
I have low int and wisdom, so if you're just like, hey, I figured it out, I think that's more fun.
Yeah, we can walk through it together. Scooby Doo it
we
out.
don't have to go back over it, but if you want to, whatever you want to do.
So Odd, you piece this together, listening, and as this slightly simmering rage is behind your eyes at hearing the eggs comment.
Explain to us why they were calling you Mbaptra.
I accepted the void. I still accept the void. The void will protect me.
Oh, yeah?
And you'll be the only elf remaining?
What's it going to protect you from?
I don't have to tell you.
Us? Because it didn't do a great job.
And he'll sit there. He'll stare coldly at you.
I can't believe you betrayed your people for these murderers. You are a disgrace to elvenkind, sir.
So would you like to just keep me here to insult me for a while, or?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for offering.
Great. I guess if someone could put on some music. This is quite boring. Do you have any other inquiries? If you wanna, so let's say like, I don't think like, if you're gonna need to like sweeten it or something for him to like give information to some of those questions, like what was it protecting from and anything, so it's gonna require a little bit more finesse.
I'm gonna try one more thing before we are finished with him.
I'm focusing on questions whose answers don't matter for now, just to test the waters.
You bad copping? Will you bad cop to my good cop?
The bad cop is being annoying, but I think we should say bad cop and good cop because it implies there are good cops. But you get the idea, yeah. I'm just being really annoying, and then later somebody else will.
I'm gonna crouch down and I'm gonna draw on all of the information that I've gathered from our journey on the ship, and I'm gonna try and give him. I'm gonna look him in the eyes and give him a genuine plea to his humanity, to his elfmanity, and to all of elfkind.
I'm picturing like a very heavy set, like a very heavy underwater creature mammal that has elf ears on it.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, the elfmanity.
And then Odd has like, ooh, new idea for an animal, and he starts like writing in his book.
Where's your elfmanity? Hold on. Yeah. Not an accent.
Understood.
So he's gonna go for a persuasive plea to our former captain's soul.
Roll persuasion.
Oh, maybe my being annoying gives you like is the help action.
Is it?
No.
Can I get it? Okay. Persuasion. We got 18. Not too shabby.
Okay. And so what are you aiming to get out of him? So like,
I'm aiming to get useful information. I'm gonna give him one of those like, listen, man, the damage is done. What you did was terrible, and the consequences are probably gonna end in your death, honestly. But you have a chance to, do something for your people. Here, give us information.
so you're looking for like giant, like what are the giants planning?
Yeah, so like we know that they came here with like an emissary, Mbaptra, right, to try and gain the Mithra elves as allies for this upcoming potential conflict or whatever. So I guess
we don't necessarily know that
this is what
they are
I think
stealing Mithril.
For
So
the
they
war,
might just
assumedly?
mostly be stealing Mithril for the war. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, yeah, like what's the bigger picture here? Just kind of like reaffirming whatever, any bits and bobs about what they're hoping to do with those eggs. Probably you would want to know.
Okay. So with the roll that you got, you can pick like he'll give you one thing. So would you like to know what's gonna happen with the eggs? Would you want to know what's gonna like a part of what their plan would be?
We'll go for a part of what their plan would be is what he would probably
Okay, and so he will he'll say their eyes are to the north. The Birmoyo, the mortal people, have been dominating Vermaret for all of history, and the age of the end of the Jinn is now. Like they want to end all of the demigods and the gods that are on the main continent of the world, or the one that this is specifically centered around. And so they're going to go and take Hadmurs. They're going to go take Estepena. They're planning on Uraros, and they have plans heading north to take all these cities and the connections to the Jinn that are there.
Okay.
Is that kind of along lines, or are we looking for something more?
Yeah, that's perfect. Odd is gonna reach out and give him a good shoulder pat. Like, you redeemed yourself.
You will still die. The ethereal isles will still fall.
Well, you're about to die too, bud. So, no, sorry. Odd probably wouldn't say that.
Odyssey, you're gonna kill me.
I don't think I'll need to kill you. I think it's out of my hands. But I appreciate that in your final hours, you decided to do something good for the right side.
I'm just telling you what will come to pass. You've seen it. No Mananji has seen it. It will pass.
What did we see?
It's not for us to know.
It's the only time I've ever seen sand pulled off of the wheel.
Right. That's some void stuff right there, right?
Let us hope that he's wrong.
All right, and so we will cut over to our thoroughly war-beaten friends. Don't necrotize me, Kendall, please. I know I'm injured, but please don't necrotize me.
You've been offered this so many times.
And
so many times.
Aelin,
it's honestly, I think you are on purpose not listening.
Just don't necrotize me. Not without my consent. And so,
Conrad, on purpose, he is not listening. You've heard me in the past time we've been here. Already the reviews is what, 3-4 times? He's not listening.
Okay. And so she will walk in with
She's not listening. She's not
Sontar,
listening.
who is kind of this very well dressed, kind of in this nice black robe with a very sharp gold mithril and large gemstone lapel pin. It's of the insignia of the mithril company on it. And we'll walk in and we'll join you, Mariel, the head of the temple, and Fall Red. It kind of in a office and maybe a private prayer room in the back of the area. And say,
Okay.
all right, what's going on? Sontar's here. I got him. I told him about what's going down at the caves. What are we doing?
Well, I told Falred about what was going on, and I assumed that they sent some scouts ahead, right?
Yes. And Mariel will say, ooh, now here's me talking with the voices in my head. Mariel will say, yes, we did send one of my scouts. You saw the one with the flickering vulture, but yeah, they will be they should have a sending to me shortly. It's within about a half an hour. Let me have someone tend to your wounds, and she'll call. They'll start casting some basic healing magic and give you the aid spell after they chop you up. And you'll hear the three officials will start to talking, and Fall Red is of the mind that he's concerned that they don't have enough force to really kind of like kick the giants out, like full frontal attack. You'll hear Mariel will voice the opinion that they need to be kicked out immediately, and they need to be made to return the mithril. And then Sontar will be like, I don't care if they return it, but they do need to leave immediately. And so then they'll kind of look to you and say, Fall Red will say, well, Handsome, what do you think we should be doing?
Well, is this not the time of year that is the magics that you are in tune with as the elves of your nature is most in the world?
Well, yes, but we are only so many, and they are massive. It would take could be potentially very dangerous for us. We could lose a lot of people just driving them out.
Well, at the very least, we need to make sure they leave. They cannot be allowed to continue to steal from you.
Yes, absolutely. Well,
but as far as making them return it, I do not know. I mean, if they have it still here on the island, then it would be possible. But if they're in their ships, I don't think that they're going to make the journey to the ships and then back with the mithril. I think we can get them to go to the ships and leave behind whatever they have not already taken.
Well, I'm Aelin. How you doing there? And so in the Irish charmer accent of Aelin that has apparently fallen out of my brain, Norkel here. Aelin, what are you doing? This right here, I honestly don't think we should let the thieves get away with it, but I don't think that we can let them get away with the mithril. I think when we saw what we saw on that ship, and she'll lay out, like, you saw the ship that was kind of in that hollow bay, and you saw the mithril being kind of taken out and being loaded onto it. So they constructed like their own little ramshackle dock.
Oh, so there's a lot of mithril that they've gotten. Oh, well then, being reminded about that, Kendall will nod and go, "You're right. They have taken a lot. And if they leave now with it, they could only come back more terrible. I think it is imperative that we stop them from taking the mithril when they leave."
What do you think about maybe getting one of these elven ships, or figuring out a way to sneak around and get them on their ship? Maybe while they're there, we watch, figure out when they don't have as many guards, and hit them
From their ship, or
on
are
their
you
ship.
proposing boarding?
Yeah, why not?
Well, I have never been a buccaneer.
Oh, I think you do great with it. I can see you in those boots. You'd be dashing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. We could try it. If Elin, I trust you. If you think that it is a viable option, the only issues that I have is this. I am exhausted at the moment. I am unable to cast any spells besides snaps fingers. A little flame appears, snaps fingers. It's gone. Prestidigitation. So that's about all I got right now. So I don't know how.
Did they seem like they were getting ready to go, or?
All right, Molly. I'm gonna think back to it.
Yeah.
Did it seem like were they like, God, what is the word that I'm looking for? Were they tied into port? Were they anchored in? Like, there is no way that they could have left quickly?
Yeah, it seems like that they seem pretty confident about what they're doing.
They were tied into port. They were anchored in. My only concern is that without word from their Mbaptra, they might start questioning, investigating, you know.
Okay. And Mariel will say, Mariel will kind of suss out. So, do you have, you said that you still have friends in the mountain?
Two of our friends, Odyssey and Gareth.
I think I have seen Odyssey. I saw him laying in the lap of a druid.
So that sounds like Odyssey.
Yes, okay.
Oh, what a night.
So that sounds correct.
Okay. So I would be able to get a message to him should this happen. Do you want to try? Maybe we could try to strike tonight. You could catch your breath, and we could try to catch them while the heart of their. From the looks of these ledgers, it seems like they're doing most of their work. They're set up to work at night. So maybe we can catch them while they're mostly at work. Kind of poring over the documents, it seems like they're like, yeah, we'll load in the day. But it's like, well, but mostly the mining operation actually happens at night because everyone is being rowdy.
Right. So I'm sorry. Do they want us to go during the day or go during the night? I'm a little confused.
So they would say like, yeah, you could go during the night while
because they'll be mining. They won't be by their ship. Okay, got it. I think that's probably a good idea. That will probably be when they're the least likely to notice us. Also, If they're in the mines, we can easily cut off access to the ships. It's not that hard to block off a mine. And if the mines were blocked off, I mean, it would not matter how many of them are in there. As long as we have the elven miners out of there, which is easily managed.
They're all drinking.
They're all drinking, yeah. So we could literally just trap them in there. And then it wouldn't really matter how many of them there are against our forces. We just let them out one by one.
Okay. So they will say they're down with this plan. Aelin will say Elin is agreeable to this, I think. She's a little skittish to approve this, but she's down to, I think, buccaneer.
Sure.
She's ready to get her galoshes sloshing. So there will be the next thing that will happen. Anything else that you'd like to resolve with them? Also, do you give them just the ledger, or do you hold on to the book of the magics?
Actually, I remember Kendall wanted to go over the book of magics with the priest of this temple.
Okay. So maybe they would say all right, so we'll do this, and then how would you? So ascending would go out to Odyssey and Karis, and
Sure.
would kind of lay out this plan, and they'd say, if we could get you a way to get down to the lost Isabel.
I didn't say anything.
If we could get you a way to get down the mountain from that emergency exit, would you be able
Molly
to
just disappear?
join us?
No, Molly did not
Okay.
just disappear.
Sorry, Molly, you disappeared for me for a second there.
Am I back?
Uh-oh.
You are back.
Wicked. So I will restart. So ascending will go out from Mariel, and they'll say, they'll lay out the plan. They'll say we're gonna strike at night. We're gonna, if I can get one of my scouts to get you some climbing gear to get down the side of the mountain, could you join us on the ship?
So that would have been sent over to
Karis and Odyssey.
Got it.
Should we construct a message to send back, or should we have a conversation with you?
Have a conversation with me. Let's say that they have a lot of magic. They're in the heart of their god's temple.
What about carrying down Mbaptra?
Maybe I could arrange one of my druids to come to grab him up. Is he a large man? Mbaptra is not a large man. I'd probably have one of the druids come pick him up.
Well, he's large enough. Okay, let's not shame anyone about how much they can lift. Okay.
No size shaming here on the Concord Illuminati. If you have not joined the Transverse down below, make sure that you join. If you have some extra money in your pocket and you're like, you know what, it looks like Adora or Molly or Scarlet or Grumblebee or Isabel could use a coffee, make sure you hit that tip button. Give us a like, give us a comment. Make sure help us take care of you. Help me buy sunscreen for this beautiful. Anyways, back to.
You're going on the ship?
And they'll say, and you'll get the information. The kind of the agreement is that we don't want to let them get away with any of the mithril that they have.
All right.
What do you think about that?
So you'll have the ship secured then by the time we have to come down?
No, the idea would be that you come down to help us secure the ship, in the cover of night.
What's the plan for securing the ship? Don't the giants live there?
Secure the ship.
giants-
That is the plan.
The giants will be in the mines during the night.
Oh, okay.
And so that they will have laid that out for you. They'll like have gone over the ledger, and it's like the plan was to, because you only saw giants loading boxes during the day.
Right.
You didn't see anyone actually hacking anything out, but you did see a bunch of boxes loaded,
All right.
despite the mines not working. Right?
So you I don't know. That sounds. I mean, okay. So in the book, do we have like schematics or descriptions for the construction of the ship, or how many? Do we know how many giants are on this island?
We don't.
Okay.
We'll be fine. Let's go for it.
Okay.
Odd starts confidently marching off in a direction that's
Odd,
probably
we gotta
not
wait.
the right direction.
No.
All right, and so then the idea is that you will kind of rappel down the mountain and get onto the ship from the front, and then how will Aelin and Kendall, from the front because it would be nose in, and then Aelin and Kendall will be popping on from the back.
Oh, we're not even meeting up before we storm the ship or try to sneak on.
You're muted as well.
I don't think there's any way to, honestly. I think the best way to do it is to meet on the ship. The giants are going to be... The giants aren't really going to be on the ship anyway. There may be like 1 or 2 people just keeping watch, but the majority of them are going to be mining.
Oh, okay. So how many people are coming with us as, from the city to
Back up.
That is a good
take care of this?
question.
This isn't our job after all. Why are we even going?
So I know Falred had concerns about how many people in the city would be able to take on the giants.
Okay, sorry, finish.
So I was just wondering if he was planning on sending folks with us, or if he was planning on maybe trying to block off the mines, or...
So we can lay this out. We have this situation where the giants will be in the mines at night.
Mm-hmm.
You know that the guard is a little bit lower capacity right now, and if they were to just take everything like full frontal on, like just run in there and try to get everyone, they would incur heavy losses and maybe lose. So
even with the guard so far, even with like the ships, just going on the ship that we were planning on boarding.
So, Falred's guard would they wouldn't be able to storm the mines, right? So they might be able to take care of what's going on in the city. Then so your resources are Falred's guards. They're maybe capable of with great difficulty taking back the mines, or with great difficulty or with medium difficulty taking back the city.
What Kendall was suggesting what Kendall was suggesting with the mines,
okay,
was that you literally physically block off the mines.
Okay.
It's a mine. I'm sure they use explosives in part of their mining. It wouldn't be that difficult to block off a mine.
There were a lot of giants, not inside the cave at the mining area. If you remember, we had to sneak around them. It may be that most of the giants are not inside of the mine. So revealing our presence by collapsing the entrance may or may not be successful.
And you came during the day. You were there early morning. And what they're telling you is from the documents, they know that they go in and mine during the night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What
I was trying to get at was we could block it off so that they can't get out, so we don't have to worry about them. And also so that it doesn't matter how many people they have, because they'll be stuck.
Right.
At least
Are
for
you
a while.
imagining a two-pronged approach where we go in the ship at that point, or are you imagining like
So that's what I was
we
trying to
block the
figure out.
mine and then we do a fight?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Is it going to be Fall Red is sending people with us, or is he going to be doing the collapsing of the mine, or what's going on right now?
So Suntar could get you explosives. Suntar could get you the explosives to collapse the mine, and Mariel would be able to get you like one of their druids, or one of their assassin type people, one of their like elite religious guard.
A druid would probably be fine to be able to earth shape it.
To place
Yes.
the explosives and get things collapsed in.
We could really use an assassin though for the ship infiltration.
Okay. So you want to use
So Suntar can get us explosives.
Suntar can get
Mariel
you
can get us an assassin
or a druid.
or a druid.
Not both?
I mean, if we have explosives, the only reason I
Not
saw for getting a druid was to be able to use like stone shaping and things like that to be able to block it off in that way. But if we have explosives, we don't really need that.
Okay.
So we could use the explosives to collapse the entrances so that they're stuck in there. And we could have the assassin come with us to be able to take over the ship.
Okay, so then what they would say is that they will have so they'll offer a couple things. They'll offer like the hitman to like go in and like poison food so that the enemies are slightly weaker. They could go in and like take out like the first wave of an encounter. Like mechanically how this would work is like all the enemies are weaker, one round of enemies is weaker, or what else would you ask for? Just like that they fight alongside you?
Maybe, or maybe like, I don't know. Okay, if they have a magic assassin, maybe they have some spells like silence or darkness spells that could help us get in undetected. Because like, no matter how strong a companion is, we still are not going to do great on stealth, or if we don't do great on stealth, everything blows up. So that's kind of what I was thinking. If they have an assassin, maybe they can help us infiltrate by coming along, even if they're not necessarily like a fighter, because assassinating and fighting are not the same skill set.
So what about like, so this would still be a druid, because they're metal druids, right?
Sure.
Cool. Space.
That's so metal.
And
yeah.
Wicked. They're just out here overcoming like New England metal. They're just out here like Hatebreed, overcoming, the challenges facing white men. It's just out there, born to bleed, fighting to succeed, built to endure what this world throws at me. That good New England hardcore.
All of it.
Yeah,
all of it.
So they would be able to provide you with so the druid that would place the explosives, before they would do that, they would be able to get you in a pass without a trace for both groups, so that you'd have like significant advantage to approaching stealthily. So you kind of like is assured. So like as you're moving through the water, or as you're moving through the rocks like basically agree to not make noise underfoot.
Cool.
Sweet.
So like
helpful.
we could have like kind of like get you onto the ship silently, and so that blow up the entrance, get onto the ship silently. Fall Red will handle the city.
What is there to handle in the city?
There are, because he basically contracted out the work of the Mithril Guard.
Right. The giants are patrolling for the festival. So yeah, so that's why we don't get to have any guards come with us. Got it.
I didn't catch that part.
Yeah.
It's literally so like people watching the show, they're like, oh, that was 3 episodes ago. That was 3 weeks ago. For us, that was like 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's probably a bunch of different people at Mariel's temple who are like, who are not otherwise saving the day.
Sure.
So if we can get, we can place the explosives, or at least, yeah, we can place these. We're in the mine. We can place the explosives and probably even get, like, if they give us the explosives, like when they're giving us the climbing gear and stuff. And then we can probably just lower Herbalar down.
I mean, they could just take Herbalar. Like, you could just have the druid,
Yeah,
like,
he could just have it.
they could, like, literally swoop down, place the explosives. It depends on how you want this all timed. Do you want to control the timing of the explosives?
Oh,
Or do you want...
If the explosives go off like 30 minutes later, that could be ideal, so we can get onto the ship first.
So then
Or
maybe...
do we think that the people on the ship will rush out to investigate if there's an explosion, and we could wait till they're gone and then there's even fewer people on the ship?
So the idea would be to, like, literally try to, like, quick pirate it?
Run away. How far from the... Would they be able to hear it? Would they know that...
Yes, so like from like as you're standing out looking down from this, like within this bubble of illusory magic, this back entrance, you're looking down over, and you'll see it's like, maybe it's about 200 or 300 yards away from where the kind of ramshackle dock that they've constructed is.
So what about, do they know any sailors? I guess we're sailors. We have experience with this stuff. We have the hands.
Yep.
We can quick pirate it.
Yep. We can crew a whole ship, basically, with those hands we've discovered.
Oh, that's true. But, like, was Herbalar in charge of them, or were they just, like...
Oh, we have them.
No,
you were able to use them. You rebuilt the headstone into
They slapped Herbalar in the face earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Alright, so here's the plan as I understand it. One, a druid will this flying vulture druid, which has confirmed what you've said, has flown into this bubble of illusion magic that they've stolen from the Illuminati, and has confirmed they see the ship and everything. So they will drop climbing gear for you. They will. You want the explosives, or you want them to handle the explosives?
Either way, I was just saying, if they do less stuff, can we still get the poison food? Because that could be fun if they all have indigestion and they're in the toilet when we get there. That could be helpful.
Okay, I like that. So they're gonna try to sneak on the ship during the day to try to poison the food.
Sure. Okay, I get it now. Yeah.
So they're gonna try to poison the food. They're gonna drop the explosives on and the climbing gear on you.
Okay.
You're gonna have to plant the explosives, and then there will be kind of druids to get you around. There will be a little squirrel that will be focusing on pass without a trace that will skitter along and move quietly with you.
Can they pass without a trace with us in the mine so we can plant the explosives safely?
You could do that externally, or you could do that. You could scale down the side of the mountain in the night, or you could move through the mines. That's why they were.
We only need to collapse the entrance, so we can do it from the outside.
We have to place the explosives on the front entrance. So I figured the fastest way to do that would be, unless
entrance.
We're collapsing both entrances to the mine, I think, so that the giants are trapped within.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I would say what one group. Okay. All right, I got it. So yeah, if you're collapsing, now I understand. I thought you were just shutting down the new entrance that the giants had made, but you're actually just trying to collapse the whole thing on giants.
Well, we don't want them to.
You're gonna make actual ghosts in this mine.
No, we don't want to collapse the whole mine. This is the livelihood of the city. We just want to collapse the entrances so that they're stuck for a couple days.
Okay,
so that they cannot easily just rush out and kill everyone.
Wicked. So you will Suntar will organize for those explosives. The druids will be organized to go. to kind of place the explosives, and you'll be given. So the druids will handle the explosives.
That would be great.
And so that they'll get you set up so that there will be kind of like sending spells will go off.
Just imagining like a squirrel with a bomb strapped to his back.
Literally, yes.
Yep.
Literally, yes.
Good mental
Or a
image.
badger.
Uh-huh.
We'll
bomb
arrange.
badger?
We'll like
Bomb badger.
if we think that the giants will like, if we want to infiltrate like at, I don't know, 2 hours past sundown, then we'll arrange for the bombs, the explosives to go off if that's an option. Like,
Could you
however.
say that again?
I was just saying we'll coordinate the explosive timing so that it'll happen after we've left the mine.
Right. Yeah. So I was assuming that you would use the climbing gear to rappel down the side of the mountain.
Yeah, and then
towards the ship.
it would be great if the explosives can go off at night, so that like we can wait, and then they'll go investigate and stuff, and then we'll get on the ship and eat out of there.
Right.
Perfect. Okay.
It's also very important that it go off at night because it looks cool when it goes off at night.
Max.
This is like a Shadowrun level plan. This is like good. It's good stuff.
Good.
What?
My D6s.
Every one of my plans is Shadowrun level plans.
I love the audacity of capturing all the mithril, but do we have a plan for actually confronting the giants after? Or are we just gonna like
Well, so if we capture them all in the mine, right? Except for the ones that we're gonna find on the ship, which will probably be killed.
The village has more time to kind of make a plan.
Also, yeah, there's a bunch of giants in the city. Falred needs to take care of the giants. Yeah, sorry.
That's what I was thinking of. The ones that aren't in the mine. What's the plan with them?
Falred's guard is taking care of that.
Oh, that's what they're doing. Okay, I gotcha. I missed that. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I feel like there's a lot going on, and we all got parts of it, and we're putting it together.
Sure.
All together, we understand the plan as a group.
Yeah.
So for the audience at home, let me lay out how this will go after this break. So, Kendall, Aylin, Mariel will set you up with a meditation room, and they will actually offer to take you over to the house. What was it? The House of the Wheel Keepers, which is like their little shrine to Kindred and Kindred, the both of the gods of reincarnation. We'll just say it that way. Both sides of the wheel, and
the life god and the death god,
the rebirth god and the death god. Yes, take you to the wheelhouse. Not the roadhouse, not Jim Morrison. So, gonna have a good time. Let it go, baby. Okay.
This is my vibe.
This is Kendall's wheelhouse.
Hey.
I'm vibing.
So you're surrounded by familiar symbols, and the wheel is present around you, and you're sort of getting prepped for this moment in this space, and you're trancing out in this area. So Aylin will be put up in a room. It's got some unfamiliar colors. It still has they'll have a smaller version of the obsidian gold and mithril battle axe of Jahan in the room, and she'll spend her time meditating, and the next time that you see her, you'll kind of that sharp eye and that kind of wink that she always throws with everything. There's something different behind it. It's got like it's a little sharper. She might be a sharper shooter. And also you'll have seen that as she was going through, as you were going through the stuff at the chamber of Srivnar, she would have found like an inlay for one of her hand crossbows that gives her a cool new magical ability.
Nice.
So
cool.
hopefully that'll be cool. So
I feel weird. That's what Karis is experiencing.
Karis is just sitting there with Irbalar.
Feeling
He's
weird?
just
Well, it'll come up later.
Sometimes
yeah,
you
yeah.
just feel weird.
Sometimes you do just feel weird.
You do just feel
Everybody
weird.
feels a little bit weird sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yep. But you know who's not feeling weird?
Odd. He feels great.
Odd
Who?
never
He feels
weird.
odd.
Odd just feels strange.
Uh-huh.
When the people who really are not feeling out of place are the team of druids wild shaped as badgers who are planting explosives at the
This is
mouth
how they
of
always
the
envisioned
cave.
their lives. This is what they always
And
wanted.
and so you see these little, the camera will see these little white and black backed badgers kind of skittering around, and one of them will pop out of wild shape and they'll kind of roll out real quick, this roll of, like, real quick, shoom, will roll out this reel of wire, and the other one will set up like a little badger sized TNT box, and then the other one will pop back into wild shape and be a badger again, and you see them there. And then you see one of them is focusing on casting Ascending. And then on the other side of the island, as you're looking down, Odd, maybe you catch a glimpse of a seabird dropping something on top of the mine entrance. As a giant vulture comes down and grabs up Irbalar, unless you want to keep him in the Srivnar room.
No, we'll hand. I assume if everyone else is fine with that, we'll hand him over to the authorities.
So he'll go
whatever
back.
powers maybe.
So this giant vulture will come down, shump, and we'll bring him out, and we'll drop you this kind of thump thump. 2 backpacks will fall, and then you'll see oh my god, you'll see a couple of, I don't know if you would see this, camera will see this, a couple of little hermit crabs come up out of the surf.
Mm-hmm.
And they wrap their little claws around the edge of the box, and they're getting ready to kind of do the dynamite plunger. And you'll see one of them flip out of the hermit crab shape, and will start preparing Ascending spell. And like, this is the time. So how are you and Aelin, as all of this is coming together, how are you coming around? What would be the approach that you and Aelin would take, Kendall?
Well, we were able to get a ship, yeah?
Sure.
So then I think we would probably be, we'd probably use whatever means available to us to get the ship, around the island behind back of their ship, as quietly as we can. So that might mean, like, getting it most of the way there on oars and then just sailing quietly in.
Okay.
And try to get, like, let me take a look at my spells real fast. I don't have anything that would be able to give us any cover.
I mean, this could be, your druid could be with you, like, silencing the Oris.
Silencing, would our druid be able to make a nice fog roll in? So that the ship could be covered?
Yep.
Alright.
So as sun starts to set, you'll see this druid tucked into this niche of rocks and this little hermit crab beside him. And the camera will see the badger and the other druid on the other side getting ready to plunge. And as the sun dips down below the horizon, you're on the north side of this, so you have kind of this dark purpley orange light lighting up the side of this giant ship. Or, well, you're not able to see it from where you are because the illusion is up. The Nilmanaji's illusion is up, but you know, like, from the inside, you're able to see it would be beautiful. It's this beautiful light over a beautiful little cove with
Yeah.
the kind of shattered rocks and everything around the bottom and wildlife all around. But you see this beautiful orange and purple light kind of streaming over the giant ship, and it settles and it settles, and you move into place. And what is the signal that you pre-negotiated?
What is the signal that we pre-negotiated, Kendall?
The signal that we pre-negotiated is
They're all using sending, so we have to have a signal.
yeah, because I don't have sending.
No, but the druid with you might.
This is flavor. I'm asking.
So there's
for
going
flavor.
to
I'm
be-
not asking
we
for
should
mechanics.
we should have a signal. I think we should have-
Flavor wise, would it make sense to be able to throw up a shower of sparks with prestidigitation?
Wonderful. I love that.
It would
And
look
so-
like the fireworks they might celebrate with, but it would be like celebrate the holiday with, but it would be out at sea.
in a specific color, maybe. The giants don't know Elvish culture well enough to know which colors they actually do use during
What color would
this festival.
when Kendall is thinking of festival fireworks? What is Kendall thinking of?
Well, Kendall wants to make sure it doesn't get mixed up with the actual festival fireworks, right?
Right. What's the festival called?
If you were to
again?
describe our group in a colorway, what would the
No
colorway be?
Right. What colors do they use for Nocio Rohegba, if any?
It seems to be a variety, but they seem to stick to like loud Fey Rites colors, which are kind of like the elementary bands of color.
Okay, so maybe a purple.
Yeah, I was thinking of purple as well, actually. Weirdly, because I associate the color purple with necrotic magic.
Wicked.
Hmm.
All right, so the shower of purple sparks spring into the night air, and as they start to tumble down, you see a couple from up top. Karis and Odd see a couple of heads turn on the giant ship. We'll see from where you're sitting. You see 3 people on the giant ship that seem to be keeping watch. And as this starts to happen, you'll see the camera will see Little Badger pause, and the jaw and the little snoot go boom, and you'll see the front end. The camera will see the front end of the tunnel collapse, and you'll see the back end. This little hermit crab will like be pushing and pushing and pushing, and then the druid will like the druid that's not in wild shape will like reach its finger out and just kind of go ding, and boom, and both ends collapse in, and you'll see like there's panic on the ship. They seem to be moving a little slow, but there seems to be panic aboard the ship.
Tummy troubles.
So, as you are, and there's just a really wild odor coming up from the ship as well. You're not sure. Seems like maybe they got some of Goth's intoxicant. And so, as you descend the mountain, Karis and Odd, is this your first time rappelling?
Not my first time repelling humans. Hey, no. I think actually in our journey we've repelled, haven't we? Have we had to repel a mountain at this
I
point?
don't know if we've had to repel.
On the island?
Probably
either
you did
way.
a knot
Okay.
rope. You
No
did, like, a
matter how
knot
many
ladder.
times.
You did repel on a knot rope, yeah.
Oh yeah,
No
that's
matter
fair.
how many times, it never gets more graceful. It is as if it were his first time.
So it's just sort of like walking stiff peg leg down the side of the mountain.
I was imagining like a gentle tumble.
Okay, so it's like barely mitigated chaos.
Limbs akimbo.
Love it.
Yeah.
So you see the weirdest Spider-Man moving down
Mhm.
the side, a blonde blue, and as you're kind of in this panic state, like what kind of Aladdin-y things are happening? Is this like flower
You know
petals are
how-
falling out of your hair?
No, you know how like when cats get really stressed out, they shed fur?
Okay.
He's just like shedding leaves aggressively.
Okay. And this small pile of leaves is starting to accumulate at the bottom here. Karis, so you're kind of experienced maybe with rappelling. What does this look like for you? You're hooked into the wall and you're making your way down.
Karis is not experienced with rappelling, but Karis has experience with gymnastics, so she is not having trouble.
So she
Good
just starts
body
scooting
awareness.
down the wall
I see that.
Gracefully. Yeah,
gracefully.
very, very much a contrast to Odyssey here.
So a beautiful stream of leaves and a elegant dismount catch our folks at the bottom.
I like to imagine that as I'm rappelling down, shedding leaves, if you pan up a little bit, it's like almost a beautiful flower petal effect for Karis. Like it's adding to the aestheticism of Karis's descent.
Well, yeah, you know, and the leaves are also like kind of around, and when Karis is almost at the bottom, she kind of slips and like falls down a bit, and then stands up, kind of like, that was weird.
And the voice of Theodolus in your head rings for a second, and you're like, that look of disappointment from him is just like, and then you're like, nah, he was a PO. No, we don't stand Theodolus. So as these sparks come out, you are, how are you? You're kind of rounding into this narrow cove where the boat is, and so are you approaching on the ship? Are you gonna board right on, or are you gonna try to move through the water?
Has the explosion already happened, or it happened sort of like just before we started rappelling?
This will like you're touching down as the explosion goes off.
Well, then we'll get out of the way and hide.
Yeah, is anyone coming?
The idea was that we would be down the mountain a little bit, I think, before the explosion goes off, so we can get a good hiding spot. Yeah, we're hiding. Yeah. The explosion goes off, and we wait to see if anybody goes past to look at the explosion.
And from where you are, so like the way I'm imagining this is like you're coming down into the cove like over here, and their walkway and everything is over here, and the boat is sitting in the middle.
You know, I absolutely have no idea what you're trying to do with your hands because of the way that we are on a webcam call. So all I just saw was just your hands. I have no clue what I apologize that was not effective.
If there's a cove that's like this, right?
Another thing is I'm looking at the recording, which does not have the full video feed, which maybe is okay. Here, now I'm looking at your video feed, so you can show me things.
So if there's a cove like this, right? It's like a teardrop.
Yeah.
Okay. You'd be coming out here. And their docks and everything would be over here, and the entrance would be here.
Okay.
So we're on the back side either way. Even if they're trying to flee, we're going to be approaching from the opposite side of their gangplank.
Well, I presume that there's a road from the back entrance to the ship, right?
I think we're in the ocean.
You're like just above the ocean. So like the entrance that you're at is like an emergency exit. It's like a hidden exit.
This isn't their like they have a different exit to get the stuff out to the boat. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Great. Okay, so we can just see if anyone goes past, and then yeah, I think I would not want to be in the water.
Okay, so then you'll watch for a second. You watch for 30 seconds, and you'll see them you'll see a couple of people run down off the ship to the collapsed entryway, and start to looking around and trying to figure out what's going on. You'll hear a horn go up.
Okay. Cool.
As you see that there's an archer posted on the mast, the central mast of the ship. You see him standing up there with this huge bow, and he's sounding a horn.
Okay, so we have the help of druids to get onto the ship in terms of like keeping us stealthy. So
Yep.
I think if we can find a way to get up onto the ship that is not the normal way, but does not require swimming, then that will be sufficient. And we just need to make sure we find cover as soon as we get up there.
Very anti-swimming.
Who knows why? It could be any reason.
That would be a. So I'm going to bring you onto the battle map here.
Okay, let me.
Ooh.
So
Oh, yeah.
maybe you would be able to like. For some reason, it's still giving me your old icon. It's not giving me the Metropolitan Museum of Art portrait that I've been using for you, Kendall. I'm so sorry. So, you'll. I'm trying to figure out how you would get onto the ship. So maybe you could move along. You would have to get close to the entrance of the cave that just collapsed, where people are looking around to not go in the water.
I see. So what you're saying is that the entrance to the secret entrance they made to take their stuff out to the boat is very close to the boat.
It's within a couple hundred yards. It's within like 200 yards, 300 yards.
Okay.
And there's someone, because it just exploded there, there's people like looking around and there's an alarm going up.
Okay.
But it's on the gangplank side, right?
It's on the gangplank side. But
Yeah.
the ship, if you were to like move around this way, like the ship doesn't fill the whole cove. Like you'd have to swim a bit.
We could just meet up. We could just meet up with them. They have a boat.
I know you
Kendall and
don't
Elin have a boat.
like the ocean,
They're right there. They're not that far away.
but we could just climb
over
up.
here.
It's going to be a really quick swim. It's going to be over so fast.
And the druid that popped out from behind the rocks is like standing there, like it has cast Pass Without a Trace, and it's like climbed into like onto Odyssey's shoulder and it back in the hermit crab shape.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I'm
so
trying
you
to
feel
visualize.
the silence come over you.
Great. I'm trying to visualize. I feel like, so is the boat is only, like, I'm imagining like a dock where the boat is like adjacent to wood for like a good chunk of it, like a good
Yes.
chunk of the boat. So wherever the entrance is, we can go to the furthest end of the dock from that.
Okay.
Okay,
Then,
so you want to
that,
try
that
like
would
move.
hopefully be around the corner.
Okay,
I guess that means you're saying that means we'd have to go past them, because the far end is on the other side of them. We are on the end that has people.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
How dedicated is Karis to not touching water?
I think she could be convinced.
Okay. Odd's going to very logically lay out a path, lay out the reasons. Statistically, we're going to be so much more likely to be spotted this direction.
Understand
And it's
why
such a short swim.
Why didn't we just plan for them to come meet us in their boat? Why do they get a boat? Huh? And we don't?
You know what? We're going to get a boat next time. We're going to have such a good boat next time. Don't even worry. Just count to 10. Just keep counting to 10. And it's going to be over so fast.
All right. Where are we going?
All right, so this hermit crab will kind of nuzzle into your shoulder, and you'll be swimming very quietly towards the ship. Kendall, you're making a lot of decisions for you and Elin. As you round the corner, are you just rolling up on your boat and boarding? You're muted.
Kendall, you're.
Yeah, I mute myself because I have to clear my throat sometimes. So I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, so I feel like Kendall and Elin would probably roll up as quietly as they could.
Are you are you taking a rowboat?
Yeah, a rowboat. The big ship that you'd be able to tell, but like they're gonna leave the big ship in the mists and the fog and then rowboat it in.
Okay, and so a little hermit crab with this powerful magic will scuttle up out of the surf, and will have this pass without a trace. Just an art. I'm giving them so many druids. This is a lot of druids. I think it's about 6, 9.
We're playing against the entire Fable Druid team right now. We're teaming up.
Actually, yeah, you're teaming up, and you'll see one, the one that's like the one that's like on your shoulder.
Is it the
And so
handsome
like
one?
there was like one night, remember, you were feeling the
It's the
petals
handsome
fall
one.
on your
Oh,
face?
I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember.
And so you'll feel it like grab some of the leaves from your hair from last night, and you kind of see, you've never seen a hermit crab wink at you. I'm not sure if it can do this, but in my world, hermit crabs can wink, and it winks at you.
I'll write that down
Um,
for my canon sheet.
Like the carapace on that baby.
All right.
I don't know.
So you're gonna approach. So, which one of you is rowing? No one is strong.
I
Both
would
of you are your
assume that
-1
this-
string.
I would assume this is a team effort.
Yeah.
So each one of you gets an oar.
Yes, and we are coordinating.
Nice.
Kendall. All right. That's wonderful, and you're moving quietly through the water, and you will come up to the front edge of the ship. So I will put you. You can see, correct?
Mhm.
Cool. So I will put you here. And as you're approaching, you see that there are 3. You hear a rumbling within the ship. So let me actually get you placed. Let me close you out. And then we'll get. And I actually had Odyssey's art in there too. And when I switched over versions, so you'll end up here. So that is where we will kind of start whatever is going to happen next. But as you're coming up to the ship, you notice something strange about the front of it.
Okay.
And there's this big, so there's like an icebreaker on the front of it, this really ornate icebreaker, and
Right.
it catches up. So it's like 2 truths and a lie. No,
I knew what you actually meant. Like the kind that they use in
I actually have to go now,
Arctic
though. So
expeditions.
it's been great.
It's been a great 14 episodes, but
Bye.
that joke was it. So there's an icebreaker, and it comes up, and it seems to lip in, and there's a large space in the front of it. So it seems like something can slip out, and you hear within the ship, you hear a quiet but rhythmic deep breathing. It's this, and it's very it's very heavy, and so you hear this kind of grinding.
Did we by any chance send back what Herbalar said when we were having our conversation earlier?
You're gonna let's see, Shadowrun, so you'd have to take a point of exhaustion to change the plan, right? No. What do you mean?
When we were having our conversation earlier, when Karis and Odyssey were having the sending conversation, would we have told them what we heard from Herbalar about the dragon and stuff?
Would you have been able to?
Yeah, that would have been something that you would have shared.
Great. So they know about the dragon when they hear this rhythmic breathing.
Can Odd tell
The dragon, which may or may
if
not
it's a
exist.
dragon?
Neither of us are hearing this yet. Only the other.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's-
don't. This is just Kendall
and Kendall.
Yeah.
We're hearing it.
You'll feel like a rumble, like as you're approaching the water. Kind of, it has a little bit of a shake to it.
Right.
You'd recognize this as like there's something large in or on this ship, larger than a giant.
We're going to
Starting to rethink this plan.
to quietly climb up the rigging.
Still go back.
Okay, Kendall and Elin, you make your way up. Karis and
On high alert the whole time.
Karid.
Wait.
Adel.
What about like Otterus?
Adel
Yeah,
and Otterus.
Didn't we come up with good ones before, or was that like
Well,
I know we did
it
for
was
the other
different.
story. I know, but didn't we come up with ones for this as well? Like at the very end,
I don't know. Maybe
we could be cod. That's fun.
Cod is good.
cod. Cod and
Otis. Otis is just.
Oh, I like
ooh,
Otis. That sounds
we
like
stand in
Oddish,
Otis.
which is
I could do that.
And then Kaylin, no,
that's a normal name.
Angel,
Oh no!
Angel.
Angel,
Angel. Handle.
Handle.
I can handle.
Handel. Yep. So
Handle. That's right.
Handel. Yep. That's it. Canon. So you make your way up. Odyssey and Karis. Hearing this, feeling the vibration in the water.
Oh no. I'm not so sure about this plan anymore. I don't know that I want to be stranded on a ship out away from shore with something very big and scary.
Well, maybe he'll just stay asleep.
Okay, we don't need to start gendering ancient beings.
Maybe it'll just stay asleep.
We can hope, but we better be quiet if we want that to happen.
Ooh, I mean,
Yeah, we have to be really, really quiet. And also, do you think it's going to stay asleep when the boat takes off? Like, that's a little wishful. I don't know.
it's been on this ship while it's been sailing. I mean, we don't know how deep its slumber is.
Okay.
Listen, just be optimistic, okay? Come with me on this journey.
Oh my goodness.
And so you'll feel the hermit crab kind of pick the final leaf out of your hair and hook into the side of the railing here, or the side of the rigging on the side of the boat. And as you climb up, you will see two okay, so you'll see two giants walking around with they're carrying around shields and maces, and they have around their neck that symbol of the axe with the orange and purple eye that you recognize from Rilamunta, the island of the Emeraldkin. And then you still see up about 50 or 60 feet up the archer with the huge bow on blowing the horn on the top. And we will start next session with a surprise round.
On us?
And then we want for you.
Oh,
You
okay,
get
for us,
surprising
Okay, I was like,
Yes.
wait, is there something surprising us now?
Very nice.
We are the surprise.
And so this is where we'll
Did
pick
the
up next
surprisers
time.
get surprised?
Ooh. Is there a triple twist?
How many sides do these agents take?
And so I'm so looking forward to an epic end of season 1 here with this showdown on this giant ship recovering this mithril ore. I am so excited to tell this story with y'all. Thank you so much for watching, and thank y'all so much for playing with us. I'm so looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
It's going to be orgasmic.
That's a little. You know, I did think of something.
That's
What did you
that's
think
our
of?
13. That's our 13 for the PG.
Karis is a little bit less concerned because she has realized that they did blow the horn already. They blew a hole. There was an explosion and a horn blow, and it's still sleeping. So
That's true. And also, if they blow the horn again because they spot us, who's to say that the other giants won't just think it's a continuation of the
explosions.
first horn blowing?
And here's another thing, which is we're done with the session, but I don't want to forget. Next time, I think that perhaps the first thing we should do before we even go over the railing is activate the hands.